The Lord Buddha has two special kinds of wisdom. Two special kinds of wisdom that only the Buddha has. That is called the Buddha Kaku. Kaku is a metaphor for the eye, but it means wisdom. You may have heard that the Lord Buddha has 5 types of eyes. Number 1 is Panakaku. The eye that all ordinary humans have is called the Mansa Kaku. That is the least powerful. It has the least power of sight. If you can't see, people still have to get help by wearing glasses, right? The one with the least power of sight is called the Manta Kaku. The innate Kaku Pasada Rupa, the Manta Kaku. Manta refers to flesh, you see. Manta Kaku, the Kaku Pasada, which is related to the flesh and enables people to see, is called Manta Kaku. After that, when the power of concentration is added to that power, the ability to see things invisible to the naked eye is called the Dibba Kaku. For example, germs called viruses. You can see it with a microscope. You can't see it otherwise. I am explaining the concept like a microscope. That one doesn't look with a tool. It magnifies and sees with the power of concentration. That is called the Dibba Kaku. Another one is Panakaku, knowing the truth, knowing the Four Noble Truths. Knowing the Four Noble Truths means that human beings living in samsara are born, grow old, get sick, and die. Being born and dying, the suffering of being in this great process. The condition of people in such a state is called pavati, a continuous process. When explaining the cause of this existence, it is called pavati hetu. Pavati hetu. Pavati is the existence of the 5 aggregates in samsara. Pavati hetu is the cause of such existence. It is just like suffering and the cause of suffering. Sometimes that is also called pavati saka. What happens in samsara has 2 aspects, cause and effect. Then the escape from samsara is called nivati and nivati hetu, the act of leaving samsara. Nivati is nibbana, nivati hetu is magga saka, the path to nibbana. Nirodha saka and magga saka are called nivati and nivati hetu. So in the world there is a rising and the cause of arising, cessation, and the cause of cessation. The Four Noble Truths are not something strange. If we look at it from the perspective of disease, how should I put it? There is the disease that people have. There is also a cause for that disease. The disease and the cause of the disease. 2 things. Since that disease is curable, the curing of the disease is one condition. To get cured, what do? You take medicine and get treatment, and it is cured. Similarly, there are 4 things: the disease, the cause of the disease, the curing of the disease, and the medicine that cures it. Similarly, let's consider another example. The problem, the cause of the problem, solving the problem, and the method of solving it. See, there are 4 things. Everything is like this, right? That is what is called the 4 truths. Only when one correctly knows these 4 noble truths. For example, you must know the problem. You must also know what causes the problem. This is knowing the arising side. You must also know the cessation of the problem, and you must know the method to resolve and end the problem. If so, that is called complete knowledge. That is called the eye of wisdom. You see, the eye of wisdom, the physical eye, the divine eye, the eye of wisdom. Another one is called the Samanta Kaku. Samanta means the wisdom that knows everything all around. This refers to the great omniscience. Only a Buddha can attain this. The previous eyes can also be attained by an arahant. Ordinary people have the physical eye. The divine eye can be attained by those successful in samatha practice and by arahants. You see, the eye of wisdom can also be attained by arahants and noble saints. As for the all-seeing eye, omniscience, only a Buddha can attain it. So, what is the meaning of omniscience? Sabba means knowing all things. Sabba yuti means the knowledge that knows all things. That is what it means. So, this great knowledge that knows all things is sometimes said to be. Some believe that it is always knowing. The great knowledge is always shining like a lit lamp. The Buddha did not accept that kind of knowledge. The meaning of omniscience is that as soon as you want to know and focus on it, you know everything at once without any blockage, limit, or obstacle. You see, there is no ego barrier. Ordinary people, when they want to know something, can scratch their heads until they lose their hair, but they won't figure it out. You see, there are many things that cannot be known. As for omniscience, as soon as you want to know and think about it, you clearly know everything. You know everything from beginning to end. That is what it means. He knows the beginning, he knows the middle, he knows the end. The kind of knowledge that knows everything completely is called omniscience. Another one is called the Buddha's eye. That Buddha's eye is extremely important. When he is about to preach a sermon to beings, the Buddha preaches only after looking with this Buddha's eye. What does he see when he looks with the Buddha's eye? Of each person in the audience who is about to listen to the sermon. Their attitude, he knows it in detail. He knows for certain whether their qualities, faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom are subtle, gentle, or sharp. Just like with fruits, if you try to ripen an unripe one, it will just shrivel. It won't ripen properly. It is the same with people. If you preach a high-level teaching to someone with immature knowledge, how will they understand? It is not easy. If the fruit is still unripe and you try to ripen it, it will shrivel. If it is unripe, it won't work, so you have to wait for it to ripen. Sometimes, if the Buddha wanted to guide a person without preaching, he would wait for the right time. He speaks only when the right time arrives. If they are not ready, he doesn't speak yet. He just lets it be. You see, just look at his son, little Rahula. He became a novice at the age of 7. The Buddha always taught him. He taught him only the basic practices. He taught him about moral conduct. He taught him about mental attitudes. He taught the principles to be followed. But the Buddha did not preach high-level Dhamma to him. He only taught what was suitable for a child. He taught him according to his age, When he became a young adolescent, it is human nature, the nature of a young man. When they reach that age, people tend to develop conceit. As for Rahula, since he himself was the Buddha's son, he naturally became conceited. He was also handsome. Being the Buddha's own son, conceit would naturally arise. At times like that, he preached about not developing conceit. He preached according to the time and place. When he was young, a child sometimes tends to lie. The Buddha taught him not to lie. In that way, he taught mental attitudes according to age. Later, at the time he became a monk, his training and learning had matured. When the time came to preach the high-level Dhamma, saying, Rahula, come with me, he took him into the forest and preached the high-level Dhamma there. Venerable Rahula became an arahant. So it means you have to wait for the right time. What does he see with it is called the Buddha's eye. The Buddha is the same towards all beings. If I preach to this person now, he will understand. To a person who can understand, I will preach what he can understand. It is called their asisisaya. People's mental dispositions are asisaya. People's thoughts, views, inherent habits, and character. Those are called aksisiya. One must also know that asisisaya This person likes this, that person likes that. People have their own habits. If you don't know that at CCI, it is like giving medicine without knowing the disease, it will be wrong, you see. The disease might not be cured. A young monk, the son of a goldsmith, came to be ordained at a young age. When he came to be ordained, Sariputta, he thought young people have many attachments, they have many desires. At the very least, they desire themselves, wanting to be beautiful. They also tend to desire beautiful people. So looking at the attitude of young people, what meditation did he give? He gave the meditation on foulness. Meditation on foulness does not mean contemplating a corpse. In the continuity of living beings, the things that come out from the body's orifices every day are not clean at all. It is just that people are deceiving themselves. The skin covering it on top might not even be as thick as plastic. Covering it with that, they put on Tanaka and do this and that to cover it up. If you peel off that skin, the flesh inside is all the same, you know. It is the same. If you don't believe me, open it and see. If you open everything up, everything is just disgusting. The fact that there are disgusting things inside, you can see them when you go to the toilet. There is nothing good. There is nothing fragrant. You might just not want to know that it is like that inside. If you really think about it, that is it. That is called the meditation on foulness, you see. Meditation on foulness doesn't mean you have to go contemplate it elsewhere. Everything that comes out of one's body, whether from the eyes, ears, nose, or body, all the things that come out, even the sweat from the pores. Nothing that comes out of the body comes out fragrant. Only things applied from the outside are fragrant, you see. The body itself has nothing fragrant. This is the meaning I am talking about. You know, he asked him to contemplate that. That is what should be contemplated. Since the goldsmith's son was young, Sariputta gave him that meditation. However, his Ajasaya character and inclination was that he had been a goldsmith for 500 lifetimes. So he was a person who was always thinking about beauty. A person who makes people's jewelry is always thinking about making it beautiful. Just beauty. Depending on the ear, what kind of earring will look beautiful? He looks at everything, you know. Looking at the hand shape, what kind of bracelet, what kind of bangle would suit it. Because he worked as a goldsmith who adorned people by looking at their beauty. When he was asked to look at ugly and disgusting things, he didn't like it. He wasn't interested. It means his heart wasn't in it. If your heart isn't in it, you can't succeed. That is why the meditation. Because his heart wasn't in it, he meditated for 4 full months and got nothing. So, Shin Sariputta, even though he was taught the Dhamma further, he made no progress. So when he was sent to the Buddha knew because he was a person who had been looking at beauty for many lifetimes. The Asubha meditation was the opposite of his nature. So not everyone should be given the same type of meditation, you see. The Buddha, on the other hand, gives it after looking at the character called the Kasaya. So seeing his inclination towards beauty, the Buddha created a very beautiful lotus flower with a stem and placed it in his hand. How beautiful the lotus flower is, Lord Buddha. Here, yes, take this. At the quiet monastery planted in front of where you sit and look at it, focusing on the beauty of the lotus flower. So, since he was a person who liked beauty from the beginning, as soon as he looked at the lotus flower, his mind became calm, focusing on its color. He looked at the beauty of the lotus flower. As he was looking, his mind became calm on it. It means he attained concentration. It is like being asked to practice kasina. As he practiced like that, he attained concentration and reached the jhanas. When he attained jhana, the Buddha checked if he could transition to vipassana on his own. But he couldn't. Since he couldn't transition while he was keeping his mind calm on the beauty of the lotus and attaining the jhanas, while he was absorbed in jhana, the created lotus flower withered and its color turned black. You see, the lotus flower withered and turned black. When he came out of the jhana and looked, the lotus flower that was fresh and beautiful just a moment ago had withered and turned a dark black color. What did he think in his mind? He saw that the very beautiful lotus from before had now perished. At that moment, the Buddha taught that the natural phenomena in one's own body are also impermanent in the same way. When he gave this guidance, it is not just the lotus flower that turns black like this. One's own body is the same way. Nothing is permanent. One day it will be destroyed. He transitioned to the perspective of vipassana knowledge. In just a moment, his vipassana knowledge gradually grew and he became an arahant. That is what is called faise, right? He gave the Dhamma to match their faise, because the Buddha was able to give teachings that matched. The people who met the Buddha were more fortunate. They understood the words that he spoke. It matched their preference, their sise. When the faculties, namely sad, which is faith, virya, which is effort, sati, which is mindfulness, samadhi, which is concentration, and pai, which is wisdom, have matured, no matter what meditation subject is taught due to their concentration, they tend to become sharp and insightful. That is, the knowledge that knows whether the abilities of sati, virya, sati, samadhi, and pai are sharp or not is called indriya parapariyatya. The knowledge that knows the dispositions of beings is called saisai enasaya. Those two kinds of knowledge are called the Buddha kaku. Paksika Buddhas, because they do not have that Buddha kaku, cannot teach the Dhamma to lead to attainment. To lead to attainment, it is not that Pasika Buddhas don't teach. They do. However, because those two kinds of knowledge are not included, and because their teaching methods are incomplete, it means they are not effective, you see. It is not effective enough to achieve special attainment. As for the Buddha, it is said that he is effective. So the 5 kinds of knowledge, are referred to as the 5 kinds of eyes. So because the Buddhas teach beings after looking with the special power of the Buddha kaku, the Dhamma discourses taught in the Dhammapada are of all kinds. Yes, at the basic level, he teaches basic level teachings to people at the basic level. To those who have reached the intermediate level, he gives intermediate level teachings and instructions. As for those at an advanced level, he teaches the advanced Dhamma. Today's Dhammapada discourse, the Dhammapada discourse that teaches the taste of the Dhamma and life lessons, is a teaching for those who are diligently practicing vipassana meditation. That is why beginners won't understand it, you see. It is not something that can be understood at the basic level. It is a discourse taught to those whose vipassana knowledge has matured and who are diligently contemplating and developing the meditation subject day and night, because it is a discourse given at an advanced level to raise the level even higher. In other words, you have to remember that this sermon is a sermon that preaches the vipassana meditation that is close to magga, phala, and nibbana. So before reaching vipassana, what does the Buddha preach in the earlier part? As a basis, he preaches the Dhenakatha, which is about giving and charity. Second, he preaches the Silakatha regarding morality. Third, he preaches the Saggakatha, saying that if one is perfect in Dena and Sila, one can reach the human and celestial realms, you see. Then, after that, the Kemanai Dvinavakatha, he preaches about the false suffering and ugliness of the sensual pleasures that people constantly long for. Fifth, the Buddha preaches about the benefits of letting go of those sensual pleasures. All Buddhas preach following this sequence. Similarly, depending on the temperament of beings, he preaches at a basic level or at an advanced level. This is an advanced teaching. Well, for those who are already practicing Vipassana meditation, his is like a sermon giving instructions on Vipassana, which is a way to practice the Dhamma. Each and every person has a body. On how to reflect and contemplate on that body that one has kama pama kaya mima vidify. Ima kaya, this physical body, this body. Kama pama means it is similar to an earthen pot. Vidit for means after knowing and understanding. So it shows how one should view one's own body. As for how ordinary people view their bodies, if they are fair-skinned, they just see it as being fair-skinned, right? If they're beautiful, they see it as beautiful. And even an ugly person won't see themselves as ugly, they'll just think they're the most beautiful, right? So how do people see their own physical bodies? Normally, how do they see it? They are just trying to make themselves stylish. Now, when it comes to how the Buddha asks us to look at our physical bodies, our bodies are like a big earthen pot. A water pot, a big water pot made of earth, is like an earthen pot. Why is it like an earthen pot? Because an earthen pot is easy to break. If you are not careful and drop it, it will break. If it is hit by a pebble, it will also break. Don't hit it. If you hit it, it will break. The lifespan of an earthen pot is also very short. It can break and be destroyed in just a moment. In the same way, reflect and contemplate on your own body as being similar to an earthen pot. That is how you should reflect and analyze, you see. It is like an earthen pot. Contemplate that it is not strong. For people whose Vipassana knowledge is mature, the Buddha preached this to make the nature of impermanence more evident. As for ordinary people, they can reflect and think to understand the nature of it not being strong. That little knowledge gained from reflecting and thinking like that is not bad, That little knowledge is also valuable. Without even knowing that, most people are busy preparing to be beautiful and pretty. So the body is not permanent at all, like an earthen pot. It can be destroyed in an instant. Observe and contemplate this with wisdom. After viewing and analyzing like that, nagarupamam siddhamaidam tapitva. As for your mind in a border region, near enemies who are closing in a border region, close to enemies, like a small fortress city, you must build your mind securely, like a small fortress city, and keep your mind safe. Nagarupamam sitam idam tapitva. The physical body is like an earthen pot. The mind, you see, must be made secure like a small fortress city. When building a fortress city, you don't make many gates. There is only one city entrance. There is only one city entrance. Everything all around is completely sealed. It is sealed off with high walls. There is only one exit for people. The nature of a fortress city in ancient times. There is only one gate for the enemy to enter, and that one gate is made very strong. Your mind should be kept in the same way. This means the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, and the mind. In the human body, there are 6 doors called Dedvara. If there are 6 doors, they can enter through that door and this door. If there are many doors, there are many places to enter. That is why, like a small fortress city, you should only have one gate. Don't use your eyes, close your ears, you see. When I say close, I don't mean physically closing them. I mean to control your eyes. We will control our eyes so that greed and anger do not arise. We will control it so that greed and anger do not arise from hearing sounds with our ears. We must control ourselves so greed and anger don't arise from smelling with our nose. We must also control ourselves so that greed and anger do not arise from tasting with our tongue. We must also control our physical body regarding touch, so that greed and anger do not arise. Yes, to practice vipassana meditation, we will keep only one door open, the mind door called Manodivara. It means we will work there. We will only keep one opening. The rest are guarded with mindfulness. We must maintain and guard with mindfulness. We remain mindful of what we see. There will always be things to see and hear. When they arise, we control them with mindfulness. In this way, out of the 6 Devara, only from the single Mano Devara to work, to enter, to exit, to work the mind. It says to build it firmly like a small city of the body. You see, build it firmly. That is why yogis who practice vipassana meditation, things like looking here and there, listening to this song and that song, without doing all that in order to live by controlling oneself. Indriya sambara means we must control our mind with the work of controlling the senses. After controlling like that, if you ask what to do, just as we work based on the small city of the body, firmly secure your mind so enemies cannot enter. Close 5 doors and open only one. After opening it, it says Yodhetha Maram Pana Vudhina. It means that we must fight the defilements using the weapon called wisdom. We must fight the enemy of defilements. Who are the enemies of defilements? It refers to greed. It refers to anger. It refers to pride and delusion. Pride, envy, and stinginess. It means that we must wage a battle against all the impurities of the mind, the enemies called defilements, using the weapon called wisdom. This is taught metaphorically, So how do we wage war against greed? As for how to wage war against craving and lust, Asubha Bhavataba Ragasa Pahanaya. Arigasa Panya, to abandon attachments, likings, affections, and clingings, asubha. You must develop the perception of asubha. which is the perception of unattractiveness and loathsomeness. Asubha sabhatha betha aregasapanya. That is waging a battle, you see. As mentioned before, this body is not beautiful at all. The things that come out of the eyes, the things that come out of the ears, the things that come out of the nose, the tongue, the things that come out of the mouth, none of them are fragrant or worth keeping. You are instructed to continuously think the thought that everything is disgusting and loathsome. So means to think so that this perception does not disappear from within you. When you keep thinking like that day after day, there is no such thing as becoming more attached or fond. When you think like that, you'll even have to be careful not to vomit. You'll have to be mindful not to feel nauseous. By contemplating the unattractiveness of the body, it is called waging a war against lust. So what are we fighting with? The perception of impurity is wisdom. That wisdom of impurity, the perception of unattractiveness called asubhasa, is repeatedly reinforced with intelligence. It is like striking with a big weapon, striking so that lust does not arise. Gradually, by thinking and thinking and thinking of disgusting things, and thinking of repulsive things, one's attachments will decrease. Only despair and weariness will arise. That is called waging a battle, you see. That is how you wage a battle. So with what do we wage war against the defilement called anger? Metta biyecha vetha dosasa panya. Dosasa, the hatred that arises in the heart. Panya, to abandon it, you must develop loving kindness, the kindness that desires the welfare of others. Do you still have hatred in your heart? Do you still hate when you see something you don't like? Do you hate people? Right. Do you hate objects? There are many kinds of hatred, you see. Hating people is the main one, of course. Some people even blame the sun for being hot. When the wind blows, they blame the wind. There are even people who, if they trip on something, will hit it with a stick, as if to say, how dare you, all sorts of things. For people like that, hatred and disgust arise. When such anger arises, if you feel anger toward a person, extend loving kindness to that person. This is what it means. Extend loving kindness to that person. People send loving kindness so that others will like them and remember them. Number, you should send it to make the hatred in your heart disappear. The intention of taking the medicine is not right. You know, some people cultivate loving kindness because they want to be rich. Even though we should cultivate it ourselves, we still ask others to send us loving kindness. Actually, you have to cultivate loving kindness yourself. If there is hatred in your heart, you replace it with loving kindness to make it disappear. Replace the heart with loving kindness. You need to understand that you cultivate loving kindness to get rid of hatred. The Buddha did not teach to cultivate loving kindness to become rich. Dosasa pahanaya, to remove the hatred. You must cultivate loving kindness. So who do you hate? Towards the person you hate, have loving kindness, so that the feeling of hatred disappears. So this is also an attack on anger. You have to attack with wisdom. Let's say you hate someone. If you hate them, ask yourself, what do you hate? He also comes with his karma, and I with mine. Is there any benefit if I hate him? Can hatred bring good results? Reflect and contemplate in various ways. What do you hate? Do you hate the hair? You know, do you hate the nails? Do you hate the body hair? If you try to find out what you hate, if you analyze it, you won't find anything to hate. Well, if you hate someone for doing something to you, look for the good in them. What did he do when we were on good terms? You see, you try to find something lovable and admirable to get rid of the hatred. If that doesn't work, then reflect on the law of karma. He has his karma, and I have mine. What is the use of hating? See, reflect on the law of karma. If it doesn't go away, then forget it. Don't think about it. Don't let it enter your head, for forget it. In that way, with the method of dispelling hatred, if loving kindness arises in your heart, the master of hatred will disappear. This is attacking the defilement known as hatred. Anger will only disappear if you attack the target effectively and accurately. Otherwise, cultivating loving kindness to become rich or to make others like you, that is not it. You see, that is not it. You cultivate it like that. You must attack with loving kindness. Another thing is, as for delusion, how do you resolve it? Delusion is the state of being bewildered, unable to decide between what should be done and what shouldn't. Being bewildered means you think, should I do this? But you don't know. You also don't know if you shouldn't do it. You can't find an answer. You can't find an answer for either. If you think, should I do it? The answer, I should, doesn't come. If you ask, shouldn't I do it? The answer, I shouldn't, doesn't come. You are in a state of confusion. So what happens is you do what you shouldn't and don't do what you should. At that point, detrimental consequences arise. That is the fault of delusion. How do you remove that delusion? You must remove it with knowledge. So where do you get knowledge from? By listening to sermons like this and reading scriptures. You memorize the teachings that are preached. You ask about things you don't know, investigate and reflect. That is how you'll gain wisdom. After gaining that wisdom, to clearly understand what shouldn't be done, you must attack delusion with knowledge. That is what it means, you see. You have to give the medicine that fits the disease. That is what is meant by Yudhetha Minra Pabutina. It says to wage war and attack the defilements with the weapon of wisdom. How do you attack jealousy? How do you attack stinginess? Among people in the world, jealousy and stinginess are very common. They tend to be very common. What is jealousy? When translated into Burmese, it is jealousy and resentment. Being jealous, being resentful. Not thinking well of others is envy. When a person is prospering and progressing, you are jealous and resentful. You can't be happy for them. That is called envy. That envy comes with hatred. It comes with anger. What should you do to get rid of it? You have to cultivate sympathetic joy. To remove envy, you must be able to have sympathetic joy. Well, he got it because he worked hard. If I work hard, I'll get it too. Being envious of what he got is useless. It is said that everyone has their own karmic results. See, you must get rid of feelings of envy. As for selfishness, when you have achieved a success, you don't want others to succeed. That is called being possessive, Being possessive. Being possessive means being jealous. It is the same thing, A person you are close with, a person you are friends with, you fear they'll become friends with others. That is called being possessive. It is called being jealous. There aren't just one, there are 5 kinds being possessive about a place. If you've built a beautiful house, you are afraid others will build one just as beautiful. You don't want them to. If you are good looking, you don't want others to be good looking. The uglier others are, the better. I alone will be beautiful. See, as for the opportunities you get, you think I am the only one who will get them. It is not good for others to get them. You don't want them to. The people you are friends with, you want them to be friends only with you. You don't want them to be friends with others. See, those things are called selfishness, When it comes to reputation, you want to be the only one with a great reputation. You don't want the others to have one. This is also called being possessive. Phisamakaria is possessiveness regarding one's place. You don't like it when others come to your place. Even when you come to a sermon, you don't like it if someone sits in your spot. If someone comes and sits in your usual little spot, you are not happy. Things like that can happen, That is also called physisa makaria. When riding a bus, sitting with your legs spread, or when riding a meter taxi, sitting with your legs spread, things like that. All by myself. It is the intention of not wanting people to sit like that. not wanting them to come. It is not for any other reason. It is just not wanting them to come. If there is another reason, it is a different matter, Formasa makaria reba makaria. I don't want others to get the opportunities I have. Kula makaria. I don't want others to be close to the people I am close to. Look, Vi makaria. I don't want them to be as beautiful as me. I don't want them to be as famous as me. Look, Dhamma makaria. I don't want them to know the knowledge I have, so I hide it. Look, that is called the state of makaria. These principles of jealousy, called macharya, must be eliminated with faith, this sadhya, and with CCGR, which is called generosity, with these natural qualities. Eliminating it in that way is called waging a battle against macharya. ISSE must be eliminated with muditi macharya, must be eliminated with saddarshi and alobha. Between ISE and macharya, ISE focuses on others' prosperity. Macharya focuses on one's own success. Their focus is not the same. However, both are associated with hatred. They are associated with hatred. Both of them are obstacles to growth and progress. That is what is meant by Yudhetha Minra Paputina. It means to wage war with the weapon of wisdom against the defiled and ugly thoughts in your heart, you see. So, the next thing is Sitakaraki and Ivsano Siti. It says to maintain and protect the state you have achieved, so it does not decline or perish. It means to hold on to the small victories and achievements you have gained. Don't lose again what you have gained. By cultivating this asubha, lustful thoughts are reduced. You maintain that. Don't let it come back in. That thing. You maintain it with that feeling of wariness. You can now have loving kindness towards hatred. There are no more people to hate. Maintain that. It means don't let it get worse than this, and don't let it be lost again. In that way, maintain and protect the qualities you have gained so you don't lose them again. Anisano Siddhi. It is true that you should maintain and protect it, but don't cling to it and become attached. Maintaining the result of success and clinging to it are not the same, You need to know the clear difference between the two. To maintain means to prevent it from declining or perishing. To be attached means not trying to move forward. There is still work to be done ahead. If you are satisfied with what you have and don't move forward, it is called clinging. Maintaining an opportunity you have so it is not destroyed, so it doesn't diminish, is maintenance. To be attached means to cling to it and not move forward. So what needs to be done is to move forward. Regarding the practice of vipassana insight, the Lord Buddha preached this teaching in the Dhammapada. Kamapama kayamima viditphais. It says to contemplate your own physical body, that it is fragile and easily broken like an earthen pot, that it is only for a moment, the physical body. Naga pama siddhamida hapetfu. As for your mind, build it like a fortified city that enemies cannot penetrate, so that it is in a state of complete safety and security. After doing so, Yodhetha Menra Pavudhena, wage war on the defilements with the weapon of wisdom. Jitakaraki, protect the milestones you have achieved. However, Anivsano Siddhi, do not cling to them. It means to keep striving forward, you see. Oh, all you Dhamma-loving, virtuous audience, the teachings of the Lord Buddha are extremely complete Dhamma sermons. If we ourselves learn the lessons from these Dhamma sermons and follow and practice the teachings of the Lord Buddha, may you all, by remembering and heeding this, be able to attain special insights, gain priceless benefits in your lives, and practice